Hi, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. So guys, as you can see for today's video, we're going to be doing a full face of Colourpop makeup. If you did see my previous video, it was a massive Colourpop haul. So you're going to be seeing some of the bits and pieces that I got in that haul getting put on my face today. Of course, I'm going to be using some new products from Colourpop, some old ones, some favourites, some products that didn't really work out. I know I absolutely love Colourpop, but that doesn't mean I'm going to absolutely love every single product that they come out with. There was a few wee disappointments, and I'm also going to be trying and testing out their brushes as well, which I actually forgot to tell you is at the end of the video there, which I'm only after filming. So I might as well just tell you now, they're good. They were good. Yeah. I just ruined that for you. But anyway, if you want to stick around and see how I got this makeup look, then just keep watching. Okay, my loves, so as you can see, I've already got my eyebrows done, and I think I'm going to start on the eyes first of all, because I think I have a fair idea what I'm wanting to do on the eyes. So, eyeshadow palettes. I have actually four eyeshadow palettes here to choose from, so I'm just going to go through them with you and see what we're wanting to use. So first off, I have the Oh La La pink eyeshadow palettes because I think I want to do something with pink today. I'm going to keep it out anyway because I might use a couple of wee shades from that palette. And then I also have these two new palettes, the Bare Necessities palette, and I also have the Stone Cold Fox palette. Do you know what? I think I might actually keep this eyeshadow palette for just like a video on its own. So the video can be completely dedicated to this eyeshadow palette. Then I also have the Grandeur palette. I absolutely love this wee palette. See, since I got this, I've been using it constantly. It's amazing. I absolutely love it. So I think I'm just going to use this wee palette. Do you know what else I have? This is so exciting. I think this is the first time I've done like a one brand tutorial where I actually have makeup brushes to try. I'm just going to get myself a big fluffy brush first of all. Ooh, do you know what I'm actually just noticing? There's only one like blending brush, which is this one here. It's a E22. Okay, my lovelies, so going into the Grandeur palette, and I think I'm first up going to be grabbing this shade here, Velvet. Yeah, Velvet. And I'm also going to be taking this on a E22 Colourpop blending brush. Let's all say that together, shall we? I'm first up going to pop this shade just within the crease. And please ignore my eyebrows, by the way. I know they need done so badly. I only ever remember whenever I'm actually sitting here putting eyeshadow on and I'm like, damn it. So, do you know what? I actually don't know if I like this eyeshadow brush or not. I don't know whether it just maybe needs broken, but I don't know. I think I'm actually going to change to a bigger, fluffier brush. Say for my first transition-ish shade, I like something that's a wee bit wider and a wee bit more flexible than that. It's just, I think it's maybe just a wee bit stiff and it is quite small, whereas there's literally no other blending brush in the pack. Like, can you see the difference? So I'm going to switch to a slightly bigger one just to really make sure this is well buffed out and pretty seamless. Sometimes it's also quite hard to get your eyeshadow seamless whenever you have like hairy eyes. I'm going to be now taking the slightly darker shade in the palette, Dusk. I'm going to start on the outer corner now and work my way in. Still maintaining that shade just within that crease. And this is just going to add a wee bit of depth and just deepen that up a wee bit. I'm going to go into an even smaller brush, this one here, and it's a Sigma Detailed Diffused Crease Brush. And then I'm also going to go into this shade here in the palette. And I'm going to further try and deepen that up a wee bit. I don't actually think it'll make much of a difference from the shade here. It might though, but we'll see anyway. Honestly, this palette is so good, and see this shade in the middle, it is like a pressed glitter, but it's gorgeous. See, if you use the shimmer and then just stick your finger in this and press the pressed glitter on top of it. Focus camera. Oh, it's stunning. And then obviously with these shades, beautiful. So I'm not going to be using a Colourpop makeup brush to cut the crease because I was just checking there and there actually isn't a brush thin enough, because I always like to use a wee flat brush that's really really fine and thin that can go into like a really sharp point, and then I like to go in with these wee smaller and detailed brushes to clean it up and stuff. Okay, I can explain. I didn't really know where I was going after I cut the crease. So this is what I've got so far. So once I have the crease cut up, that sounds really violent. Once I have the crease cut, I took the Colourpop gel liner in Boots. Oh, that's really cute actually. Boots. And I'm also taking this on the Colourpop E30 brush, so it's just like a wee winged liner brush. I'm just going to do a big massive wing, really. That's all. And then next up I took the Jelly Much eyeshadow, and this is in the shade No Rest for the Vivid. Whenever I was doing my haul video, I tried to link this, and I don't actually think they have this in stock anymore, but they have other Jelly Much eyeshadows if you want to go and have a nosy at the other ones, but unfortunately they don't have this in stock, so oops. So then what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to coat this jelly eyeshadow just all over the top of that wing. I actually think it's really pretty, but I don't know, I just kind of feel like it needs a wee bit of something else. While my lashes are drying, I thought I may as well just get on to the base makeup. So I'm first off going to prime. So if you did see my previous video, which was my Colourpop makeup haul, you would see that I bought some brand new products especially for this video. But I also have a load of other Colourpop products already in my collection, which I'm also going to talk to you and show you about whenever it comes to it. So for my primer, I got the Thirsties Hydrating Priming Moisturizer. So this is what I'm going to be using today, but I also thought I would show you the other two primers that I have in my collection from Colourpop. So I have this no filter primer here. I've only used this a couple of times, can't really give too much of a review on it, but it is quite nice, but it's just definitely not my favourite. Although my ultimate favourite, my go-to primer actually definitely would be, just like in general, not just within Colourpop, it's definitely the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hydrating Hyaluronic Acid Primer. This is absolutely amazing. I don't actually hear a lot of people talk about this, but it's so good, and it's just really really nice and hydrating. It provides such a nice natural glow to the skin, but it's also just a really nice product to have just underneath your foundation anyway, just to prep and hydrate your skin. I have up here on the Colourpop website a wee bit more about this product because I don't actually know much about it myself. So prep the skin, amp up and hydration with Skin Quenching Thirst Aid, a unique priming moisturizer that leaves the skin bouncy, supple and ready for the day. It's formulated with hyaluronic acid, cucumber, water to lock in moisture, plus a load of other stuff, blah 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 blah. That sounds quite nice actually. That sounds like definitely my cup of tea. So yeah. Oh, that's actually really nice. I'm going to zoom this in so you can really see my actual skin. The feel of it feels really really nice. It actually feels a wee bit, I don't want to say oily or greasy, but there's definitely a slick to it, and as you can see, like the consistency is just like a wee, it kind of just looks and feels like a moisturizer. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it has made my skin like super juicy looking. Yeah, do you know what, I'm actually going to go off camera now and apply my lashes and actually see if it'll sink into the skin a wee bit before I go in with foundation, because I feel like it is very slick. I'm not too sure how this would actually be if you have oily skin, but I'm just going to see if it sinks into the skin a wee bit more. First impressions, I actually really do like that actually. Yeah, it's actually a wee bit similar to this, but not as thick. whereas this is more of like a wee serum, if that makes sense. This is the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. This is just the same as the primer I was telling you about, this one here. So it's kind of like within the same collection. So I was reading online there, and apparently this is a medium to buildable coverage with a skin-like finish. And I also think I'm going to use one of the brushes to apply this. Do I want to? Do I want to ruin one of these brushes? No, I don't. I'm going to use one of my other brushes. Oh, and I got this shade Light 55M. And before I apply the foundation, I just want to let you know that the primer has sunk pretty well into my skin, by the way. It looks really, really nice. It doesn't feel or look as greasy anymore. Okay. Ah, I've done it again. I'm trying to get out of the routine of putting foundation over my lips, and I always forget myself, and I'm just like... Holy shit. Look how shiny my face is. What? So at first impressions, it's actually really, really nice, although it's very, very shiny and glossy. Which isn't me. It's not me. I do prefer something that's a wee bit more satin-like, satin or matte, and that's crazy because I have dry skin. Like, it just kind of shows you, like, somebody that has dry skin doesn't necessarily make a beeline for hydrating stuff. Just with whatever excess is left on the brush from the rest of my face, I'm going to do my forehead because I don't like a lot of product on my forehead anyway, so. But yeah, it is very, very nice. The only thing is it's very, very shiny, but that's obviously something I can fix whenever it comes to setting powder, etc. But the finish is absolutely gorgeous. It is so, so nice. My skin just looks really, really healthy, and it definitely does have that skin-like finish to it. It's went on beautifully. It's blended out amazing with a brush, and I would say it would blend out amazing with a sponge as well. Gonna give you another wee zoom in and wee close up of my skin. But yeah, it's really, really nice actually. It's absolutely gorgeous, especially if you love this type of finish. That's really, really nice. I'm going to be using the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer, and I use the shade Fair 15W. So this is the wee concealer I've had in my collection for quite some time now actually, and I will admit it's not one that I grabbed for barely. Not for any particular reason, I just have my favourites. It's fine, it's grand, it's a concealer at the end of the day, but to me it's nothing special, to be honest. There's worse out there and there's better out there. Now time to cream bronze. I don't want to use the brushes for this either. I'm going to be taking the Sol Body Face and Body Bronzing Balm, and I use the shade Medium Dark. If you have been with me for quite some time, you have heard me speak and rave about this wee cream bronzer for the longest time at this point. I absolutely love cream contour. I don't even want to talk about it because I feel so repetitive. But if you're new here, it does look scary, and it does look scary in the pan, but it blends out beautiful and just effortlessly, and I love cream contour for that because it just provides such a natural warmth to the skin because it's a cream product, and it blends in beautifully to the skin. It just looks so natural and amazing and creamy and just amazing. Boom. You've seen how easy that was. And whenever I'm finished, I always like to keep, I always like to keep my concealer sponge handy, and I'll just go in and pat around it. Because I blend it out with such a big fluffy foundation brush, sometimes you can bring the cream bronzer up a wee bit too high. Whereas I just like to go in with the concealer sponge and just pat around it. And that'll kind of bring it down a wee bit and clean everything up. Okay, so I'm now going to go in with some powder to set this concealer. So I'm going to be taking the No Filter Finishing Press Powder in Light. This one here. Boom. Oh, I think we'll get to use one of these wee brushes now. Oh yeah, this one will be perfect actually. So this is a F31 brush. So I'm just going to go into some of this powder and just set mainly my T-zone area. Just going to set those under eyes as well. Yeah, it's quite a nicely powder actually. So I'm going to bake now with some loose powder. Colourpop has a loose powder and I didn't get it because I don't like it actually. So there was no point in me actually wasting the money and buying it if I don't like it. So I'm just going to be using, and cheating, by using the I Heart Revolution coconut scented baking powder. Once we have baked, set, all that good stuff, I now have some setting sprays. Again, I have 3 setting sprays here I want to talk to you about. Of course I have my favourites, and these were already in my collection. So the one I'm going to be using today is from the range that I've been using so far, the Pretty Fresh range. And this is the Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. This is honestly such an amazing wee setting spray. It is so good. But then I also have the Fourth Ray Beauty a Glisten Up Illuminating Mist. So if you kind of shake it up a wee bit, you can see it has stuff in it. And then we also have this one, and this is the No Filter Setting Mist. As you can see from like the top of this wee bottle, I haven't used this much, so I can't really give you much of a review, but it's pretty basic to be honest. But this is a repurchase, so I repurchased this because it's honestly so good, and it smells amazing. It's so good. The moisturizer is so good. It sets your makeup in place, and it kind of has like a really natural finish to it. Like, it doesn't dry down matte, it's not necessarily overly dewy. It just refreshes your skin, and especially someone like me, because I set with like a setting powder and then I go on back, my face would be a wee bit dry, like especially under here, and if I just like spritz my face with this, and like any setting spray to be honest, not just necessarily this one, it just kind of like bounces my skin back again, and it doesn't look as dry and crepey and just whatever, but it's just so nice. Okay guys, so next up, my favourite bit, highlight. As you know, Colourpop actually do one of my favourite highlighters of all time, which is Colourpop Flexitarian. This wee highlighter here, which looks like so. But the one I'm actually going to be using today is this new one that I got, which I showed you in my previous haul. I cannot pronounce that for the life of me. Seismic. I'm actually going to give a wee bit of a comparison besides like Flexitarian and Seismic. Like, yeah, there's literally nothing in them at all. Oh my goodness. That one's Flexitarian and that's the new one. Please ignore my nails, by the way. I'm wearing fake ones at the minute because I've had so many of my other ones like break, and they're so uneven and they're just an absolute disaster. So I'm going to be taking this on the Colourpop F33 brush. Ooh, that's such a gorgeous wee brush for highlight, isn't it? So I'm just going to do a wee bit on my nose as well. But because the formula of them is so unique, they just melt into the skin. I have to say, whenever I am applying them, I will be quite heavy-handed, as I am with absolutely everything, but I'll be quite, you know, like really, but it just means that it's really getting it worked into the skin, so it's not just sitting on top of the skin like this shiny strip. See this hair, I swear to goodness, I curled like the front bits of my hair before I started filming, and I've obviously had them tied back, and what's this? What is this? What the hell? What the fuck? like the biggest twat. So I think I'm going to have to recurl them. So next up for blush, and I actually have a couple of blushes I want to show you, two different formulas and types. So first up we have, and I've actually been using this a lot recently, you've sort of seen it in my previous tutorials, this is the Super Shock Cheek blushes, and this is in the shade Get Laid, and these are kind of like the same formula as the Super Shock highlighters. Obviously they kind of have that like spongy, bouncy cream to powder formula, and they're amazing. They are freaking amazing. They're so good, and especially this color. This color is definitely my favorite because it's the perfect peachy toned blush with a little hint of orange in it. Then I also have some of their pressed powder blushes, which are also so good. So we have Out of Sight and Foxy. You would have seen me using Foxy quite a few times on my channel, and whenever you look at these blushes you'll kind of see a bit of a pattern going on. Yeah, I love these tones of blushes. I love a peachy toned blush or an orange toned blush. Orange blushes are really underrated. They're absolutely gorgeous, and especially if you are a dark skinned gal or boy, an orange toned blush on your skin, nom nom, absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, so if that doesn't necessarily suit your skin tone, have this one, as I say, and it's called Out of Sight. So as you can see, it's a wee bit darker and it's a wee bit more richer. For those of you who have darker skin, it might show up on you a wee bit more, and it's still honestly such a gorgeous colour. The formula is absolutely beautiful. There's a wee bit of a sheen through them. They're not glittery or sparkly. These blushes here, this is the one I'm going to be using today because it's gorgeous. You can also use these blushes or the highlighters with either your finger, a brush, or a beauty sponge or a beauty blender, by the way. They do look really intense, like super intense, but as you can see on the cheeks, you just have like a nice wee kiss colour, like a nice wee wash of colour, and then obviously if you want to build it up, you're free to do so, and it just looks amazing and flawless. And amazing and flawless. They're so good. Lovely. I cannot be the only one that has noticed that Colourpop hasn't really brought out bronzers. Have they just forgot? I know they have brought out a couple of bronzers, these ones here, and this was a couple of years ago and they only came out with a couple. But what confuses me is the fact that like Colourpop come out with so many collections, and they have so many highlighters, so many blushes, so many eyeshadow palettes, so many of everything, and it's just like, bronzer, did they just forget? So this is literally like the only bronzers that they have on their website, unless that you want like the wee pan bronzers that you can actually put in a Z palette. So this is the No Filter Finishing Pressed Powder. Obviously I used the light one to set, whereas I'm going to be using the shade Dark to bronze. I'm going to be taking this on a F30 brush. This is not the type of brush I will ever apply bronzer with, but it's the only brush that there is left unless I want to use that for bronzer. Well, I use this one here. This is the F29. No, do you know what? No, none of them are bronzer friendly. So I'm just going to use this wee brush here. Oh yeah, so much better. It's very powdery. Yeah, it's a no from me. Before we move on to finishing off the eyes, that's actually the base makeup done and I'm pretty happy with it, but I'm now going to do my lips. So I don't actually know why I've lifted out 3 lip liners. Was I intending on talking to you about all 3? Why have I done this? Sorry, nature calls, itchy nose. So yeah, this is their lippy pencil in the shade Beeper. Then for my lips, oh my god, so we have Midnight Snack. what even? Back in the day, like a couple years ago, this actually would have been in quite a few of my like favourite videos. I would have talked about this all the time here on YouTube. If you remember, you're a good one, hey. And then we have the Colourpop Ultra Satin Lip in the shade Magic Wand. So that's a satin one, the Magic Wand, and then Midnight Snack is a matte. Yeah, it's a matte lip, and that's the colours there. So we have Magic Wand and Midnight Snack. They're absolutely gorgeous for everyday nudes. So good. So I think I'm actually going to use a Midnight Snack. I'm going to go into the palette again, and I'm going to take Julie, depending on how bougie you are, this shade here. And I'm just going to be putting this quite tight to that lower lash line. No, I'm actually going to switch brushes to the E26. Gotta be here all day with that wee thing. Christ. And then going to blend that out with Dusk, this shade here, on a E25 brush. And I'm just going to blend this out to make it really smoky. Do you know, whenever I'm like up really close, it's like, yeah, that looks really smoky and grunge. And then whenever I look in the viewfinder, it's like, that's cute. Okay guys, so this completes this makeup look. Do you know something? If I'm being honest, I freaking hate this makeup look. While I was off camera there doing my mascara and everything, I was thinking to myself, I'm going to do a part 2. So I'm going to do this video again, but do a completely different makeup look. So yeah, keep an eye on my channel for another full face of Colourpop makeup. Yeah, well, the only disappointment I think was the powder that I used for the bronzer, the dark one, but everything else apart from that was absolutely great as per usual. The foundation actually looks great. It looks so good actually. I actually think I will continue on using this, but I'm not liking this makeup look, guys. I hope you all enjoyed this makeup tutorial anyway nonetheless, and all the products that I did use will be listed and linked down below in the description box, along with my Snapchat, Instagram and Twitter, so don't forget to go and follow me on all of those. Again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you're all staying safe and well. Please be kind, look after yourselves and each other, and I shall see you in my next video.